When someone says something harsh, insulting, or dismissive, the first instinct for most people is to immediately take it upon themselves, as if those words were a direct definition of who they are. But let us look at it carefully. When a person speaks, are they really speaking about you, or are they speaking from their own mind? Their words, their judgments, their opinions are not really carved out of truth, they are carved out of their own experiences, their own pain, their own limitations. If someone has lived in bitterness, they will speak bitterly. If someone has carried joy, they will spread joy. In reality, what comes out of a person's mouth has more to do with what is happening within them than with who you are. Yet, you take it and put it upon yourself, and suddenly it becomes your burden. Suppose someone calls you foolish. Now, if you look at it, in that moment there are only two possibilities. One, maybe what they said is true. If it is, then there is no need to take offense. Simply accept it and improve yourself. The other possibility is that it is not true. If it is not true, then why let it touch you at all? But most people do not pause to see which of these it is. The word hits them and immediately they react, carrying anger, hurt, or resentment. They don't see that they are allowing another person's passing opinion to decide the quality of their own inner experience. When a dog barks at you on the street, you don't feel insulted. You may feel startled, but you don't spend the whole day thinking, "Why did this dog bark at me? What is wrong with me?" You simply recognize that it is the nature of the dog to bark. But when a human being throws some unpleasant words at you, you forget that the same principle applies. They are simply expressing their nature at that moment. If you begin to live with this clarity, you will see that their words will not stick to you. You remain untouched like the sky remains untouched by the passing clouds. Taking things personally is like constantly opening your front door to whoever throws dirt outside. You do not choose to keep it outside, instead, you bring it in, spread it on your carpet, and then complain about the stench in your house. This is what happens when you accept people's negativity as your own truth. Their words were just noise passing through the air, but you made them part of your life. Now, the suffering is not because of what they said, but because you gave their words shelter inside you. Imagine for a moment, if every single person's opinion had to become your identity, what a miserable and shifting existence that would be. One person thinks you are wonderful, another thinks you are worthless, someone else thinks you are average. Are you going to reshape yourself every minute according to these opinions? If you do, you will never know stability, never know peace, because you are tossing your inner state from hand to hand like a ball. There is nothing of yourself left. But when you see that what people express is only a reflection of their own mind, suddenly you gain freedom. Their praise or criticism may come, but it does not decide who you are. Let me give you a simple example. If a child calls you stupid, you laugh because you know the child is just playing and you don't take it seriously. But if an adult says the same thing, suddenly you flare up. Why? Because you gave more weight to the words simply based on who said them. Yet, whether it comes from a child or an adult, it is still just sound waves traveling through the air. If you don't label it, it has no power over you. People around you are living through their own compulsions. They may have anger, fear, jealousy, or insecurity, and they express it as words or actions. If you are wise, you will not make their compulsions your problem. Their anger belongs to them, their bitterness belongs to them, their judgments belong to them. You don't have to carry it. The world is full of people who will always have something to say, but whether you pick up what they are saying and make it part of your inner world, that is your choice. So the next time someone throws a word at you, pause and look. Ask yourself, does this word really define me, or is it only revealing something about them? In most cases, you will see it is not about you at all. And when you see this, there is a certain space, a certain distance. In that space, calmness arises naturally because you are no longer tangled in their drama. The strength of your life will never come from controlling what others think, say, or do. That is beyond you. The strength of your life comes from mastering how you hold yourself within. If you don't allow other people's noise to become your voice, you remain free, and this freedom is the foundation of peace. So remember, when people speak, they are not defining you, they are only expressing themselves. Do not let their inner state disturb your inner state. Stay centered, stay calm, and you will walk through the world untouchable. Most of the time, when someone says or does something, you immediately connect it to yourself as if the whole universe is revolving around you. But life is not built that way. People are not living their lives constantly thinking about you, they are living their lives thinking about themselves. Each person is carrying their own baggage, their own worries, their own dreams, their own struggles. What they do, what they say, is more a reflection of what is happening inside them than a statement about you. But when you forget this, you begin to make everything personal, and then naturally you start suffering. If someone does not greet you properly, instantly you assume they must not respect me. If they look away while you are talking, you decide they don't value me. But do you know what really happened with them that day? Maybe they were lost in thought. Maybe their child is unwell. Maybe they are worried about their job. Maybe they simply didn't notice. But your mind is so eager to put yourself at the center of every story, you conclude that their actions are about you. In truth, 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with you. Let me ask you this: how many times in a single day do you think about all the people around you? Do you spend your entire day analyzing them, planning about them, judging them? Or are you mostly occupied with your own concerns, your work, your health, your family, your desires? If you observe closely, you will see that 90% of your thoughts are about yourself. The same is true for every other human being. They are not sitting there constantly evaluating you, they are caught up in their own world. So why imagine that every action, every word, every look is a verdict on you? When you take things personally, you create unnecessary drama inside yourself. Someone walks past you without acknowledgement, and suddenly your mind spins stories. They must be upset with me. Did I do something wrong? Are they ignoring me? Hours are wasted in this inner cinema. Instead of seeing life as it is, you are seeing it through the lens of your self-centered imagination. The reality might be very simple, but you complicate it by putting yourself in the middle of everything. To live with ease, you must drop this constant assumption that you are the focal point of every interaction. The universe is vast. People are living their own journeys. Their behavior towards you is just a tiny reflection of the storm or the sunshine they carry within themselves. If someone is angry, they may spill that anger on you. If they are joyful, they may share it with you. But it is their state, not your definition. If you can understand this, you will stop grabbing every passing emotion and turning it into your identity. Think about the sun. It rises every day, shining its light. Sometimes the clouds hide it, sometimes the sky is clear, sometimes people curse the heat, sometimes they bless the warmth. But the sun does not change itself for each opinion. It knows its place in existence. Similarly, when you realize that you are not at the center of everyone's universe, you will stop bending and twisting yourself according to their fleeting moods. The moment you make this shift, a tremendous freedom enters your life. You stop calculating what others think, you stop resenting their behavior, and you begin to live with a lighter heart. If someone laughs, it is good. If someone frowns, it is their frown. Why should you carry it on your shoulders? By not taking it personally, you allow them their journey and you remain stable in yours. This does not mean you become indifferent or cold. It means you are wise enough to see that people's actions are driven by their own compulsions, not by your worth. When you stop interpreting everything as a reflection on you, suddenly you have the space to respond with compassion rather than reaction. Instead of thinking, "Why did they do this to me?" you begin to ask, "What must they be going through that they are behaving this way?" This shift changes the quality of your life and the quality of your relationships. So much unnecessary suffering is born from this one mistake, believing that you are the main character in everyone else's drama. You are not. You are the main character only in your own story. Everyone else is busy acting in theirs. Once you see this, you stop taking things personally, and life becomes much calmer, much simpler. So remember, people are not living for you, they are living for themselves. Their actions are not about you, their moods are not about you, their judgments are not about you. If you can live with this clarity, you will walk through the world untouched, carrying peace within, no matter what comes your way. When someone says something unpleasant to you, the common tendency is to instantly react. The words strike, and before you even realize it, anger, hurt, or defensiveness has already taken over. In that moment, you have given your inner state into the hands of another person. They press a button, and you start dancing to their tune. But if you observe carefully, there is always a tiny gap between the stimulus and your response. In that gap lies your freedom. If you can widen it, if you can create just a little space before reacting, then you are no longer a slave to other people's words or actions. You begin to act consciously instead of compulsively. Let us take a simple example. Imagine someone calls you a fool. Usually, the mind leaps forward immediately. "How dare they say that to me?" And the tongue follows with a sharp reply. But if you pause just for a moment, if you allow a little distance, you can look at it clearly. Maybe there is truth in what they said. Then it is a chance to learn. Or maybe it is completely untrue. Then it is just noise passing by. In both cases, why spoil your peace by reacting emotionally? But because there is no gap, you don't see these possibilities. You only see the insult and your hurt pride. When you live like this, your emotions are like dry leaves in the wind. Whoever passes by can toss them around. But when you learn to detach your reaction from your emotion, suddenly you find strength. You discover that nobody can decide the quality of your inner experience unless you permit it. Someone may speak with anger, but you need not take it in. Someone may throw bitterness, but you need not swallow it. You can see it, understand it, and let it pass, just like clouds moving across the sky. This does not mean you suppress what you feel. Suppression is not freedom, it is another kind of slavery. Freedom means that you are aware of your emotion, but you do not let it drag you wherever it wants. You are able to hold yourself steady, and from that steadiness, you choose your response. That is the difference between reaction and conscious action. A reaction is mechanical. Anyone can press the button and you will explode in the same way again and again. Conscious action is born out of awareness, and in awareness, you always have choice. You see, if you pour hot tea into a glass, the glass has no choice but to become hot. If you pour cold water, it has no choice but to become cold. But you are not glass. You have the capacity to remain steady no matter what is poured into you. This capacity comes alive only when you are not living compulsively. The moment you are compulsive, every external stimulus controls you. The moment you are conscious, you decide how you hold yourself. Think about the people you admire most in life. Are they the ones who explode at every little thing, or are they the ones who remain calm, unshaken, even in difficult situations? Strength is not about shouting louder than others, it is about not letting their noise disturb your silence. True calmness is not weakness, it is power of the highest kind. Because when you are calm, you can see clearly, you can act wisely, and you can move through life without carrying unnecessary wounds. It is also important to realize that detaching reaction from emotion is not about becoming insensitive. On the contrary, when you are not enslaved by compulsive reactions, your sensitivity deepens. You begin to see more clearly what another person is going through. If someone shouts at you, instead of instantly fighting back, you may notice their pain, their frustration, their helplessness. And from this place, your response can be one of understanding rather than escalation. Life always presents situations where people may test your patience. In traffic, in your workplace, even within your own family, words will be said, tempers will rise. If you can master the art of pausing, of creating that little space before reacting, you will see how much unnecessary suffering you can avoid. You will also see how much more respect and trust you earn from others. People naturally gravitate towards those who remain steady because steadiness is rare and steadiness brings peace to everyone around. So, practice this simple but powerful shift. The next time someone provokes you, before the words leap out of your mouth, take a breath. See the space that exists between what happened and your response. In that space lies your strength. When you begin to live like this, no one can disturb your calmness unless you allow it. Your peace is in your hands, not in theirs. So remember, when you create distance between stimulus and response, you become the master of your inner world and calmness becomes your greatest power. If you look at life closely, you will see that most people are handing over the remote control of their inner state to the world around them. Someone smiles at them and they feel good. Someone frowns and suddenly they feel miserable. A kind word makes them fly high. A harsh word brings them crashing down. In this way, their peace is always in the hands of others, tossed about like a leaf in the wind. But peace is not something that should be gifted or taken away by someone else. Peace is your natural state, and if you learn to anchor yourself in it, then no matter what is happening around you, you remain steady within. When I say make peace your default state, I do not mean that life will always be pleasant, or that people will never say or do hurtful things. Life will continue to present challenges. People will continue to carry their own moods and judgments. But if you are waiting for the world to align perfectly before you allow yourself to be peaceful, you will wait forever. Peace will never come from the outside, it can only arise from within you. Think of it this way, if the weather outside is stormy, you do not tear off your roof in frustration and complain about the rain. You stay sheltered. You understand that storms come and go, but your home must remain steady. In the same way, the storms of life will always be there. Anger, criticism, misunderstanding, rejection. But if you have built an inner shelter of peace, you will not be swept away. The world can make noise, but your stillness remains untouched. The problem is, most people have made their peace conditional. They say, I will be peaceful if people treat me well, if circumstances go my way, if life unfolds according to my preferences. But have you seen that life does not ask for your preferences? It moves according to its own rhythm. If your peace depends on conditions, then you have signed up for endless restlessness. Real strength comes when you can be peaceful regardless of conditions. This peace is not about indifference. It is not about withdrawing from life. On the contrary, when you are peaceful, you engage with life more fully, because you are not afraid of being disturbed. You can listen to people without judgment, you can handle conflicts without being consumed by them, you can move through ups and downs with a certain grace. When your peace is your default, you stop reacting from fear or anger, and your actions naturally carry clarity and balance. To hold peace as your default state, you must first stop outsourcing your inner well-being. Nobody should have the power to decide how you feel within yourself. If a person can disturb your peace with just a few words, it means you have given them the keys to your inner world. Why would you hand those keys to anyone? This life is yours, your inner state is yours, and your peace must be yours. You might ask, but how can I stay peaceful when someone insults me, when situations are unjust, when people are unfair? The answer is not to deny that such things happen, but to see clearly that your agitation in those moments does not solve the problem. It only multiplies it. If someone throws anger at you and you also respond with anger, what have you achieved? You have only doubled the fire. But if you remain peaceful, you see the situation for what it is, and you can respond with clarity rather than confusion. Peace is not passive, it is the most powerful platform from which to act. Even when joy comes, remain peaceful. Do not let excitement throw you off balance, because anything that takes you too high will also bring you crashing low. Peace means you live in such a way that your inner stability is never at stake. You may feel joy, you may feel love, you may feel many beautiful emotions, but beneath them all, peace remains as your ground. If you want to experience this for yourself, just look within. When you are not disturbed by thoughts, when emotions are not pulling you in every direction, when you are simply present, what is the natural state you feel? It is peace. This means peace is not something to be created. It is already there. What you need is not to manufacture peace, but to stop giving it away so easily to every passing event, to every passing word. So learn to anchor yourself in peace, not as a reaction, but as a way of being. When you wake up in the morning, you can decide, no matter what happens today, my peace is mine. If you carry this with you, life will still bring challenges, people will still test you, but nothing will shake your foundation. This is the strength that allows you to walk through life calm, steady, and untouchable. So remember, peace is not a luxury to be pursued occasionally. It is the ground on which your life must stand every moment, no matter what.